morning, Service Alliance community. How y'all doing today? What's up, brother Doug?
Morning, Zach. Listen, if your internet goes down, I'm not ready to do somebody Jay Leno monologue to keep everybody busy and happy. So make sure we do this well. And then Kurt's on. I'm always afraid to upset Kurt. I don't know why.
I have internet envy now. That's impressive.
Okay.
Gig speed up, gig speed down. I don't even know what to do there.
There you go.
Morning, Adam. Morning, Kurt. Morning, Jeremy. Good to have you guys on. I love that you guys, begin to build this community together. It's great.
Yes. Yep.
How's your weekend?
The weekend was productive because we're hosting Thanksgiving. So new patios in. You know, what's weird is my wife thinks this is unusual, but I think it's normal. Hosting, I worry about things like that knob that came off the kitchen cabinet that hasn't been on for 8 months because I prioritized it down here. So I have my own list, and she thinks it's the dumbest list ever because weirdly enough, cleaning out the shed is important the week of Thanksgiving because then I can do other things to make the garage neater. But you know what? Now the more I mention it, my list does look dumb. But anyway, things get done. So it's a busy weekend.
Yeah, we don't host. We go to the parents or the in-laws. So
like Waffle House. You have Waffle House at Chicago?
No.
No.
You think this is the South? Come on now.
Remember, it's all the same to me. There's New England, and then there's California, and then everything else in the middle.
I don't even know what to say to that. I have nothing for that.
like you're EJ's neighbor, but you don't have an accent. It doesn't make sense. I'm still trying to understand how that works. So,
Doug, we're talking about clarity today. Stop confusing me. Oh man, that's funny.
You had a great weekend yourself, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, gained a little clarity in my home office. You guys get to see like the little bit here that always looks moderately clean, but it's always been like clutter crammed behind the curtains.
Yeah.
But this weekend the wife and I, 900 IKEA trips later, gained some clarity in the office. So
I remember last ASTI, I went to Ginny Seeley's class about sort of mindset and being organized. And at the beginning, she started talking about like your desk drawer, your closet, the garage. And I'm like, this is not your business. But it does put you in a good space when you're organized and when everything is in place. It all that stuff gets in your head when you're at work or doing whatever. So pretty impressive, Ginny. Not that I cleaned out my closet, but I saw others get really excited. Like this one guy, I'm like, he's an impressive businessman. And he's prioritizing in the top 3 to organize his closet when he gets back home. I'm like, mind blown. But whatever gets you going, you sent me a pic of your office. It looks pretty amazing. Yeah.
I did. Yeah. And it's not done. I mean, we can talk about that more when we dig into clarity, but it is, for me, the way my mind works. I need the space. I'm a very unorganized person, so I need the organization to get that little bit of clarity as I go.
Makes sense.
Yeah. I want to pray us in, and we just dive on in today.
Good morning, Lord. We're grateful to be here today as a community. Lord, I see these names and see their faces in my mind, and I'm just grateful for the gift. It's hard to say, the gift of social media, which has its blessings and its curses, to be able to stay connected throughout the year. Lord, I lift us all up to you and just pray that we remember Philippians 4:13, that we can do all things through him as we navigate our businesses and our lives with our families and our homes. God, sometimes we start to doubt our abilities. We start to struggle to believe that we can do it. And so, Lord, when this fear and worry enters our mind, we ask that you fill us with your spirit and give us the strength to recognize that you've been by our side the whole time and that you will continue to be by our side. So, God, give us strength as leaders, business owners, brothers and sisters in Christ, parents and siblings and children. God, give us the teach us and show us the way to be your light. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. I love seeing these guys just interact
Yeah, me too.
in the comments. It's my favorite thing. So,
Yeah.
one of the things that we get asked is, well, why'd you take it off Facebook? Well, because Facebook was so fractured. It was going to so many groups, and it was going to YouTube, and it was going to LinkedIn. It was just going all over the place. And it was really hard to have community come together and actually have these back and forth conversations within the comments. So that was a big deciding factor for us to kind of drive it into one spot. So
Yeah, the YouTube people we couldn't see their comments, right?
correct. Yeah, and vice versa. Within the groups, the one group couldn't see the other group's comments, and
yeah.
you know. So it's good to see. But so we're talking clarity. We're talking a bunch of different areas you and I have experienced along the way. We found clarity in certain different areas within each of our own businesses and lives. And I'm sure we still have blind spots. But hopefully from our experience, you can kind of begin to understand some of the areas in your life and business that you might need some clarity. So you shared with me as we were prepping this, you want to kind of kick off one of the areas that you're gaining clarity right now?
Yeah. Well, first, let me just say what a blessing, because you got to be grateful for where the momentum is filling your sales, right? I would say that, working at Action Appliance, our big picture clarity of who we are and why we do what we do, it's great, man. It's in this area of sort of communicating. I feel like for us as our team has grown, the challenge is communicating well with the team, with the changes and things that are happening, and that could frustrate, employees and team members as they're like, when did we start that? How are we doing that? So that's been a growing stretching and growing aspect for Action as the team has kind of grown a lot in the last 10 years, so I'm getting better at it. I mean, we did lose Paul Hartland. Paul, I love you. I miss you. But that was definitely an area that we had to work on for sure.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think one of the other things that I've talked about with Matt this year has been numbers, having clarity on the numbers. And if you don't have good data tracking, so one of the part of what I'm teaching at our Business One Day conference is using technology to kind of scale up your business in whatever way it is, whether it's just like actually getting a handle on your business or actually truly scaling your business. And so for Matt, we had a piece of software that you couldn't really track things well. You couldn't get a handle on the numbers. You couldn't get the reports. I can at a glance, we had a sales meeting on Friday, and at a glance I could pull up numbers and I could go, well, that's not true. This is where we were, and this is the cycle, this is the good, this is the bad, these are the correlations. And so having a handle on your numbers and having a handle on that big picture, even if it's just high level, is really good. I could see year to date, I could see quarter, I could see month, I could see by salesman even. It was really helpful.
So it's safe to say that we might be in the same situation, and maybe others out there. You're not having sort of quarterly strategic meetings about your finances, because I'll raise our hand that we're not doing that.
We're supposed to be doing that, but our accountant is trash, and I have no problem saying that live. I'll say it to his face. Like if you have, so this is one of my biggest gripes, and for my personal accountant and my businesses, I have an accountant now. And if your accountant isn't talking to you and helping you kind of plan some strategies as far as taxes or as far as growth, or helping you understand what your numbers really mean,
Mm.
fire them. Get a new accountant. Seriously.
Yeah.
And our accountant came in April, and he's like, yeah, we're going to do this, and I'm going to talk to you about this, and I'm going to make sure you have this, and that's not happening. Or if it is happening, it's not being clearly communicated to the owner, so he doesn't understand what needs to be relayed on. So either way, it ain't happening. He ain't doing his job. So
We just transitioned to a new bookkeeper that's also has accounting services, which are two different things, but
they
they
are
can
two
be
different
combined.
things.
And
Yeah.
I like when I interviewed with her and spoke with her, because she recognized, kind of like what we recognize, if we go in as the professional and we leave loose ends and details left out, if we don't communicate well, we don't do the A to Z, there could be misunderstandings, there could be miscommunications, and how often does that happen? And then they call you and you explain it to them, you go, no, that our warranty is, oh, okay, and they feel better. So if you can have a great process, so this bookkeeper, she's like, we must meet every month, and she goes, I hope that you're not one of those businesses that think it's not important, because it is, because we don't want to be reactive, we want to be proactive. And so that's exciting to me. It's almost like they're added to the inner circle. And from their perspective, knowing money, and us being deep in the weeds of appliance service, they can give their own perspective on things, and we can have a broader sort of broader opinions about what we can do, because a lot's changing in our industry, right? I think that for us anyway, in the appliance service, I keep forgetting, Zach, do you miss being an appliance guy?
No.
Okay.
Not at all. Not at all.
But I think appliance service is gonna transform more and more in the next few years, more than like everything else in life, so fast, that we have to be ahead of the curve. We have to be anticipating things. So
the service industry in general is going to change, and it's already starting to change. If you haven't figured that out, you're a little late to the party, but you're not too late to the party. So begin to notice some of these changes that are happening within service.
yeah,
It's more about service and not about being a body anymore. So if you're just out there being a body, you're not going to exist pretty soon within the service industry. So you got to kind of level up that customer service side of things. What I love about money, man, like, so what and you kind of broad overview with it, but I say it all the time, numbers don't lie. Like, numbers just don't lie. And so your accountant being able to come in and go, okay, I see this and we can do this and I see this, helps you understand how to better serve your customers, because you can see where that flow of money in and out is going. And because of that, that allows you to make the decisions you need to serve your customers better. So I love money for that, right? Like that piece of things, being able to see the picture. It's great.
I mean, I look at it from the internal side as well. You have to be able to know so much is changing with us personally in our own personal finances, that as a small business, what I love about money is you can buy stuff. So I think Saul should make like a wisdom calendar, right? One for each day. Yeah. So I feel
He
like
didn't join us today, by the way. No
he,
reach out. No.
we did talk, we did speak, and I feel like he was blowing me off. I felt like I was asking him to the prom, and he just kind of like gave me a lame excuse. Like, actually, I think Saul said he was doing his hair this morning. So yeah. Whatever.
Sorry for sidetracking.
Yeah, once again, no, I feel like that personal finance is going to be, it's already being affected strongly. We go to the supermarket, we go to McDonald's, it's up. And so we need to know our numbers well to figure out how we can take care of our internal team, right? Our employees. We may have to raise our rates some more. If you're late on that game, holy macro, you can't get back a quarter or a half a year. So you have to be on top of those things to be able to figure out what it takes to keep your team going and happy.
It's not just last night, Saul. It's forever since 1985, the greatest year to be born. Uh, the Bears have been MIA, so that's all right. We don't talk about them in Chicago. We talk about the baseball and the hockey. So
The bitterness that comes from the middle of the country is so dripping. It's unbelievable.
not bitter. I could care less about football. So one of the other areas in which we gain clarity is mindset, and you and I are big on mindset. And having a coach kind of helps highlight some of those blind spots within our lives. My coach, we were talking about how we're going to progress forward and what progressing forward looks like. And cost. It's as Jose said, money, money, money. There's a cost for gaining clarity, and you have to do almost is it worth it or not? And for me, it's worth it. It's more about how can I raise the funds to make sure that I can go through that coaching relationship for the time that I need that, right? So I see value in it. She goes, well, she was talking because I said I need to talk to my wife. I need to figure out like what we're gonna do. Because the last time we did a coaching thing, I just jumped in, I dropped the money, and my wife was like, yeah, it's good, but good night. Because a good coach isn't cheap.
Right.
And so this time I'm like, no, I'm gonna take a pause and I'm gonna talk this over with her and then figure out what the finances look to make that happen, right? And so anyway, a coach for clarity is worth its weight in gold. I see the complete value in that coaching relationship, so I'll do whatever it takes to make sure that that relationship can happen. You just started working with a coach too.
I did. But I'll tell you something for free. It takes a little while, kind of like dating. I found a couple solid mentors over the years through my BNI group. Um, a mortgage specialist that did real estate and other businesses. Man, it is great to have a lunch with him and tell him what's going on. It like again, he's coming out of left field, and anything that I consider a hurdle, he often would say, "Is it that hard to overcome? What about this?" And I was like, "What?" So you can start with a solid mentor.
Oh, sure.
Or two for sure, and then from there you could go for coaching.
You will grow past that. I guess I skipped that part of it.
Yeah.
I've done the mentor. I've done the free coaching stuff. And but if you're trying to go a distance in a short period of time,
Sure.
there's a cost to that. So yes, the masterminds are good. Mentors are very good. And I still have those in my life, but for where I'm at, I need that extra level, which does require an investment. So
Yeah, I mean, for our company, the last 5 years or 6 years, I've kind of put together my own sort of process and approach to managing and leading. But it's made of sticks, man. So I've really enjoyed the traction approach from EOS, and it's hard for me to implement it because I'm still a student of it. I'm not I'm no expert, and now I have to teach and implement it with all my managers, and I'm definitely either becoming impatient or realize I'm in over my head. So that's where I'm toying with the idea of bringing someone in to help us get on board. And again, if things work, don't mess with it. I would keep a coach on if they could continue to help us improve and get better.
And you may outgrow that coach, so that's the great part. I have a coach that Paul, he's been on, and I've done group coaching with him, and I've outgrown that stage. And now it's time to go into one-on-one coaching. So coaching relationships can change over time, right? And I've been coached up by people, and taught how to coach. Like I have certification in coaching, and so those relationships do change over
Yeah.
time. There's nothing wrong with that. So
Yep.
coaches are important. They do help highlight the dark spots, the blind spots that we have within business or personal, either way. Um, and then I said we'd talk about it, but for me, the clarity is gained in organization, and that seems weird, but you've talked about it before when you were on the road and your truck was a mess and not being able to find anything and just wasting all that extra time, and then it adds a level of stress, and you're in the back of the truck and sweating and going, oh my gosh, where um, there's so much clarity that happens in organization. Doesn't mean you're not messy still, because trust
Right.
me, the pictures that I sent are organized mess, right?
Yeah. I know where my mess is. Absolutely. Most of the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
As I'm looking for it, I'm going, if I find this 3 calls later, I'm going to be so upset with myself. So that's my motivation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the
It's not,
same applies in our offices, right? Or in our homes. Like I spent more than half of the weekend looking for wall anchors that I knew I had. I can picture the box, but for the life of me, I couldn't find them because they were not organized.
and we shouldn't be surprised that if we have a, whatever, a messy key ring to a messy junk drawer to a messy van, if you're going to expand your business, what makes you think you're going to be any different? So you might as well start with the junk drawer and focus on that discipline.
I think there's a lot of wisdom in that, Doug. I mean, so you are where you are and you are who you are.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter where you go, your mess goes with you.
That's right. That's right.
So there's a level in there that's important. I'm trying to see if I can share this to my computer to share. Anyway,
so clarity about the future has never been too clear for me. It's never been too clear for me, as I've struggled with goal setting and thinking about what's going on 2 years and 5 years and 10 years in my own life. So shocking that would be something lacking where I work, right? Is that something that you've been pretty good at, or something that you're a student of as well still?
always a student. Always a student.
Yeah. Well, that's the safe answer, Zach. So are you good at it or bad at it?
Both.
Okay. All right.
Depends on the day.
We're only amongst friends. The only one that's going to trash us is Saul and Rob. That's it. But I was just on the phone with Rob Friday and just talking the future of what the industry could look like, and that you have to kind of anticipate and forecast with clarity what you think could be or other options that could be, because you got to navigate your business through it and around it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Man, forecasting without numbers, it's really hard to kind of figure out which direction to go. And without networking, you kind of need both of those pieces to gain that clarity.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I wonder, does Kurt, can you just answer for us? Are you a super clean van guy, semi clean, or terrible? Go ahead. I want to hear the honesty of Kurt. Although I think he's like 6'4", so whatever it is, I'm happy with however you are, Kurt.
So there's the picture that I shared with Doug, by the way. Oh. IKEA desk, some IKEA shelves underneath that you kind of can't see. They're little 3-drawer units down there, and then some pegboards. And I have another set of pegboards that'll be coming.
Did you get rid of the corner of your room?
Did I get rid of the corner of my room? No, that's right here, right on that far right side.
Yeah, what's that black triangle?
That's the curtains that you see behind me. They're all kind of pulled over. Oh, up there in the top corner. That's a sound panel.
What
That's
a
a
geek!
dampening panel.
What a
So
geek you are, man.
if you ever wanted to know what the behind the scenes of what you're seeing right now is, here you go.
Yeah,
This is that. So
yeah.
yeah. Anyway.
So Paul's forecasting. Yeah.
Imagine if California did something huge. Industries right to repair it could have a big trickle down. Some of that is coming through. We'll
Mm-hmm.
see. Listen, here's the thing. They have a lot of high-powered lawyers, and they're going to find ways around certain things. So there's going to be a level of stuff that's still paywalled and still hidden off. But what I did notice, here's a great example. 6 months ago, my phone, right? It's a fairly new phone. It's an iPhone 13. It's not that old, right? But you couldn't get information on how to change the battery. There's an entire step-by-step guide now that Apple put out. Apple actually did the entire step-by-step guide.
Mm-hmm.
And what it told me is, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and pay someone to change my battery because I'm not screwing around with it. They made it more complicated to change, but you know, there is a level of good and bad within that. How many times have we gone to a customer? Well, I saw it on YouTube. Yeah, just because you saw it on YouTube and just because you saw the walkthrough doesn't mean that that's necessarily going to work for you.
YouTube videos stop me usually half the time, more than half the time. I'm like, no, I'm gonna pay someone. Yeah.
I do the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a moon ball. Normally it's lit up, but its battery is dead right now, so it's being backlit by a light, but just a little accent light that I have rocking and rolling sometimes. You don't even notice it when it's actually on. So yeah, I mean, and if you don't think any of the other manufacturers are gonna do this, then you're crazy, right? So pretty soon you're gonna be seeing Samsung or Whirlpool or GE or LG. Heck, John Deere is doing it. So don't tell me that this can't happen. You'll have a right to repair, but you're still gonna have to buy it from them. You're still gonna have to pay the premium. I'm not unaware of what it will do. It's so yeah, you'll have the information and parts will be available, but you're gonna pay an arm and a leg to do it. That's kind of what they're doing.
We've come up. Look at that. I knew that, Kurt. We've come a long way. I remember starting out, and the owner of the company I started with was buying a lot of washer belts from a car parts store. V belt. He knew the dimensions and thickness, and was buying generics. I mean, it's getting even harder now to put in anything generic, which is good, I think. But liability's sake for us, right?
Sure. Yeah, I think there's wisdom in using actual parts. I use some aftermarket parts that have been spec'd out, and I'm okay with that.
Yep.
But yeah, I remember the owner of my company telling me he could carry one fan motor and he could fix every refrigerator. Like,
Okay.
I mean, it's just you put it in the or I guess it was two fan motors because you needed a condenser fan and you needed the evaporator fan. But once you had those two, you were good to go. It didn't matter which brand it was.
And he was right then, but not anymore, right? So
right. Yeah.
So that's that clarity of future. So it's interesting to see, people moving away from fully stocked vans. I'm still trying to run the numbers to try to see what kind of impact that would have on our business, if it would have anything as far as inventory floating on the trucks all year long and not used parts. Probably isn't going to move the needle much, but
it doesn't. I'll tell you where it does make a difference is in your cash flow. I was just talking to Jeremy about this over the weekend, actually. Parts are like the biggest nightmare that any company can face. And so there's been a bunch of posts within the groups about what tracking are you using, what inventory are you using, what I use Sortly when I was doing it and did help. It's only as good as what you put in, though, just like anything. Um, someone recommended Walkabout. I haven't looked at Walkabout since 2016, and their software as a whole was trash then. So I'm not like I need to go back and kind of look at what they are now. But they said Walkabout has a pretty decent um, inventory within it. I know House Call Pro, they don't have it. Workies, it's not a great one. Um, I don't know
Well,
why inventory is such a hard thing for software companies to kind of
payroll and
figure out.
parts, right? Payroll and parts. That's the two nuggets of every budget. So,
Hmm.
um, surprised Marcone hasn't come up with some sort of tool to help us manage our parts better. Just kidding. So, but no, I know Encompass has a parts tracking and usage app, which is
Heard it's not great either. I again, like that's kind of where I'm going. I don't understand why it's
yeah.
so hard. You know, one thing that I and they do this really well, but they have some other shortcomings that doesn't allow it to work. So I've been kind of working with their engineers. But the flooring software that we use, their inventory is phenomenal. Like
Mhm.
it's oh my gosh, it's on par. I don't know why, and it seems like basically every flooring software has the inventory side like on lock, but they can't seem to get some of the other things working. Yeah, but that's not. See now, am I Service Works? That is not mobile friendly, is it? Not without like you couldn't take it on your iPhone, right? Or can you?
I mean that is a challenge. You'd want your operating system to have parts tied in with it, right? That's what you're talking about with your flooring company.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it's because the inventory is maybe much on bigger scales, like you're buying thousands and thousands of dollars where we're buying hundreds? Is that why you think it's improved over in the flooring industry?
I think most of the flooring industry is inventory,
Hmm.
right? 90% of who they're dealing with aren't doing the installs; they're doing the sales of it.
Mhm.
And so I think that the inventorying, the B2B is way better. Um, so okay, so it's web based. Do you have the B2B kind of locked in though? So like, hey, I have this many and I have them at this store, and ServiceWorks will allow you to kind of see that as well as your own inventory, like what you have within your building, because that's kind of what I'm talking about. I have both. So with Floors app, I
What the hell was that?
Apple, their new gesture thing. I made a sparkle with my fingers and we get freaking balloons. Um, Apple. Anyway, so I can see what my vendors have from within the software because of the B2B. And I can also see what I have, but I have to put in what I have in stock. So, um,
So it's called Service Works.
Service Works.
Hmm.
Yeah, so you can put in truck inventory according to Dr. Dan. Sack to the spark. I don't know if it'll work. I forget which gesture I do that does it, but I talk with my hands. So this Apple gesture and you get balloons or you get whatever. Yeah. Supposedly, like if you raise your hand, it's supposed to put like a hand on the screen or some crap like that. But anyway, we're digressing. Well, so there is an option. Service Works for Marcone,
Sure.
something worth
Sure.
looking into. Um, but yeah, so I've been working with Floors app because there's some areas that they just fall short that like because it's not like a true um Sparkle and Rob shows up. Good night.
Ouch.
Oh boy. There's just some stuff like I can access it from my iPhone, but it's not like a true mobile app. It's web based. And I feel like that's kind of what ServiceWorks is too. So not having the app kind of knocks it out for some people.
Hmm.
It does make it harder. I know that's why we went with the vendor that we went, because at least we could get web-based, where the rest of it we needed to be on a Windows computer, and it was a mess. Or you have to have a server at your office. Like, those days are gone. Most of the flooring industry is about 40 years behind everyone else. So I did.
Well, we are coming to the end of the year, where we are naturally, as human beings, we begin to think about the future and goal setting. But I encourage everyone to look at your businesses in 90-day increments.
And start now. Don't start January.
Right.
Start now.
Right.
Now.
Right. Yep. And set some goals. Set some goals so that you plot a course.
Okay. So there's a piece of it that the text app service works. We'll have to talk, Saul. We'll have to talk.
Yeah. Imagine if Saul had came on today with us.
We could have grilled him about it.
He could have like pitched the whole thing and taken another 100 customers from other businesses, but he chose his personal life instead. Unbelievable.
If you're ready to choose your business over your personal life, we got the Business One Day Conference, December 2nd. How'd you like that segue? December 2nd, Richmond, Virginia. Register at servicealliancegroup.com. If you're friends with the man, the myth, the legend, the one name Zach on Facebook, myself, I posted a link right on Facebook, and we also have it posted at the top of the Appliance Alliance group. But the Service Alliance group, one-day conference, Richmond, Virginia. We have some sessions that will help you kind of find the clarity within your business and begin to make some steps forward in your business.
Morning, Mike.
Oh, look at that. Chicago chiming in.
I think I heard TK saying, like, if it's a long drive, that you could stay at his house. I'm pretty sure I heard TK saying
that's going to be problematic, since he's staying at the hotel that we're doing the conference.
That's what I meant.
I don't know how he feels.
House is open and available. That's what I thought.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And I'm not going to deny it. Cheeseburgers are my thing for sure. Absolutely.
So, piggybacking off Mike, I am thankful for you, Doug, and I'm thankful for each and every one of you that tuned in today. We couldn't do it without you. We could, but it would, just be two idiots talking for, 45 minutes. So,
that's it. Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, have a great Thanksgiving, Zach, and all of you, except for Rob Jones. So,
Rob, you can have a happy Thanksgiving too. I'll wish you.
Why do you always come to his aid and stuff? Because you guys ride bikes together.
He's my birthday buddy, man.
Did you see that pic of him on Facebook where he was wearing heels and riding bike? Did you see that one?
No.
Oh, he's got one. You guys go to his Facebook page.
Yep. I'll have to check that one out.
And lipstick. Not that there's anything wrong with that, by the way, Rob. So
have a good week, guys. Have a great Thanksgiving. We'll catch you next time. Bye, guys.